we're back. Alright, let's see what our bit rate looks like this time. I'm running at... It says on Twitch right now I'm at 4,333 kilobytes per second, so I'm right in the range.
Yeah.
Should not be clipping out like that. So I don't know what the deal is. If it stays clipping, I'm sorry guys. I honestly don't know what else to do to make it smooth, because it's saying I'm running at the exact kilobytes per second bit rate that I have OBS set at. So it should be running smooth as butter. So anyway, enough with the technicalities. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. I'm good to go if you are.
Yep.
Let me pull up our stuff here. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Do you like this show and you want to help support us? Do you want us to stay ad-free? Do you want extra episodes every month? Of course you do. Then head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro and become a Patreon supporter of this very show. And welcome back to another edition of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
So, how's your week been? Florida is a lot like Mississippi, where things are slowly starting to reopen. So, how's things going over on your end?
Well, I mean, we could talk about whether or not that's a good decision, but I feel like that would be a whole separate podcast unto itself.
Yeah.
But so with a lot of the bans being lifted, I mean, the newer listeners probably won't know, but those who have been around for a while know about how busy I usually am with my job around this time. And if you've been following the sports world, you know that baseball is in a bit of a, we'll call it a money dispute right now. But really I'm not going to get in trouble for saying this, but like in my personal opinion, I think it's now very likely that there will not be a minor league baseball season at all, which is crazy to say because I'm usually, head first into work right now. Like we probably wouldn't even be doing the show right now.
Yeah.
If things were normal. But something that we've started doing at work is we've, in a way, converted the stadium into almost like an outdoor restaurant where we do still like entertainment, almost like a murder mystery dinner, but without the murder mystery.
Yeah.
Where we'll do like little skits and things like that just to keep the guests entertained. So we're still doing some of the content that we would do for baseball. We're now doing Wednesday through Sunday. So I'm essentially working 2 of those shifts, like that run from 5 to 9. So it's almost like I am working baseball still anyway.
Yeah.
And now with us adding the entertainment, I now have to work at least one weekend day, either a Saturday night or Sunday morning.
Yeah.
So I talked about this on my show last night, but I'm going to go on a bit of a hiatus from doing live episodes of my show just so I can actually have a little bit of downtime to actually be able to relax.
Yeah.
Because, we do this show on Wednesday. If I work late Thursday and Friday and then do live shows for my show on Tuesdays, that only leaves Monday during the week to actually have just like a normal night where I could like watch a movie or watch a couple of episodes of a TV show or whatever it is that I would want to do.
Yeah.
A shout out to Thad Smith, who is watching on Facebook Live.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we got a chat room full in Twitch right now. So if you want to get in the chat room, run over on Twitch at twitch.tv/JayFunktastic if you're watching on Facebook. And you want to win Volgar the Viking Switch code I have tonight to give away.
Yeah. So that's going to be coming up a little bit later on in the show. But Yeah, I mean, other than that, like some cool stuff I've been doing. I may have mentioned it on this show, but I know I've told you off air. I've started doing the masterclass program,
Mm-hmm.
specifically the Aaron Sorkin screenwriting, which has been fantastic because I know that's something that yeah, I've already made a movie, but I feel like I can get better at it and really like dive into what screenwriting is. So
Yeah.
I've been doing that and hopefully, take the lessons I've learned from that and make the script that I've been working on off and on make it better.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I just started writing a new script last night too. Inspiration has finally struck after all these weeks of being. Well, I didn't really get to enjoy quarantine as much as everybody else did. I didn't really get to have a quarantine because I still had to work. So,
Yeah.
but I still, a bit of everything that's been going on, inspiration finally struck. So I finally got started on a new story last night, and it feels good.
Yeah, you sent me the details of it and I'm really digging it. So excited to see where you go with it.
Fantastic. I can't wait to get it written. It's going to feel good to finally get it written.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, Wally always said something profound that it's like writing sucks, but having written is great.
Yeah, well, and we won't even get into the rewriting because that's really where a script is made is through the rewrites. At least that's
Yeah.
what Kevin Almodovar, who we've both worked with on both Survey and the Parker Syndrome, he told me great scripts aren't written, they're rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Exactly.
was, one of the big pieces of advice he gave me when I was writing the script for the Parker Syndrome. And I think it's absolutely true.
Mixmaster asked in the chat room, where can he find our movies? You can find Monsters Anonymous on Amazon Prime right now, as well as some other movies that I was in. You can find the Cornbread Cosa Nostra. Let's see.
I
I
still
don't
need
know.
to watch.
Yeah. I think you can find Mississippi River Sharks, where you can actually see me and Wally both in that one. Let's see. Survey and is not available anywhere to watch yet because it's still making its festival run.
I'm convinced Steve wants 100.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there.
I mean, at the rate it's going.
Yeah, and Parker Syndrome is still making its festival run too. So if you want to see Survey or Parker Syndrome, then you're gonna have to catch them at a festival until they're available for the public.
Well, I'll say to Mixmaster, if you wanna DM me on Facebook or Twitter, I can send you the link.
Thad Mattez in the chat says they can hear us now. So hopefully everything is going decent. I'm trying to watch. I don't know what's going on with OBS and Twitch because
Yeah,
I was having
people on
trouble.
Facebook are saying that there's no volume on you,
Really?
which is weird because I'm getting you clearly through OBS right now.
It's so weird. What is going on lately? I was having trouble with Facebook Live the other night for the Open Micers podcast. I don't know what's going on with streaming lately. Like right now, I'm trying to monitor the stream on Twitch, and it stops about every 10 seconds or so, and I don't know what's going on. Like nothing's in the red. I mean, everything's fine. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting levels from you through OBS.
Yeah, I'm everything's going perfectly on this end. I don't
Hmm,
know. That's
that's really
weird.
odd.
Let me turn
I mean,
this
I
up
can
for a second.
boost your volume up a bit.
Hello, hello. Is that
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm hearing you perfectly fine through
yeah.
OBS.
All right, everybody, let me know if that causes me to be sounding echoey because I just turned on something else. So if I get echoey, then I'll turn this back off. So it sounds
Okay.
fine in my head. So I'm hopefully maybe this will make everything a little better. Sounded nice
Yeah.
for Rampage said it's nice and clear. Um, Oh, Mixmaster is called Monsters Anonymous. Let me type it in. Monsters
Yeah, Nick Flagstar on
Anonymous.
Facebook says they can hear me but not you.
That's weird.
And let me check one thing.
All right, I typed the both of those movie titles in the chat. Monsters Anonymous is the one that me and Wally wrote, and we both did. And Cornbread Cosa Nostra is another film that I was in, but I didn't write it or anything. And it's not a huge part, but it's kind of an important part.
Well, every part you play is important.
Yeah, it is. But I'm kind of ready to get into the news because we got some cool news stories to get into tonight.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. From gamesindustry.biz, everyone's favorite mullet wearing, hot sauce slinging bad boy, Billy Mitchell, is suing Twin Galaxies over disqualified Donkey Kong scores. Video game scoreboard Twin Galaxies is facing a lawsuit from prominent arcade gamer Billy Mitchell. It removed his world record scores for Donkey Kong in 2018, claiming they were not achieved on unmodified arcade hardware. He's now suing for defamation in an effort to have his scores reinstated. He's known for several world records across various arcade games. He appeared prominently in the 2007 documentary King of Kong. And he confirmed legal action to Ars Technica, telling the site, "My law firm and I are fully confident that we will establish a prime facie case for all parts of the lawsuit." It was filed in April. It was actually filed in April 2019, but has only recently surfaced due to a misspelling of Twin Galaxies, originally filed as Twin Galaxies, Galexies.
Oh my God.
It goes on to a little bit of detail here, but there's another story that goes along with this as well. So I'm going to add this story in with it because this just popped up the other day.
Yeah.
Actually, yesterday. Billy Mitchell, this is from TechRaptor.net. Billy Mitchell sues YouTuber over cheating expose, and the YouTuber countersues. Let's see. Billy Mitchell's parade of litigation continues. He's now suing YouTube for $1 million over claims he cheated to obtain some of his world famous Kong high scores. Apollo Legend, YouTuber Apollo Legend, first made a video regarding Billy Mitchell's Donkey Kong entitled "World's Most Infamous Donkey Kong Player." Why is this not showing the whole article? Is this looking weird for you too? Like all stretched out and weird?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and it won't let me read it. 2 years after that, I can't read the whole title of it, but it's "World's Most Infamous Donkey Kong Player something." More than 2 years after video was made, Mitchell has filed a defamation lawsuit against Apollo, and now Apollo has launched a GoFundMe campaign in order to raise funds to countersue, which he was created just 4 days ago, which would have been Friday of last week. It is he wanted $10,000, and he's already at, as of yesterday, $23,713. So yeah, he's countersuing Billy Mitchell for the defamation lawsuit.
I love petty lawsuits that involve multiple figures worth of money.
Yeah, I don't know. After watching that King of Kong documentary, like Billy Mitchell just looks like such a jerk.
That's why I don't have any sympathy for him.
I mean,
like
what does he care? He's got all those hot sauce millions.
Yeah. I don't get why he's so unhappy.
I don't know. I mean, how could you be unhappy with a mullet that glorious?
I was about to say, like, the guy's hair's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, how can you be upset about that? Because how old do you think this guy is?
Oh, Billy Mitchell, he's got to be in his 50s at least. Let me Google that. How old is...
How many 50-something-year-olds do you know with a head of hair like that?
Not many. Tiger King? He was born July 16th, 1965, so he's almost 55 years old. He will be 55 in July. God, look at that. Look, everybody type in how old is Billy Mitchell into Google and look at that glorious mulleted bearded bastard with the
I mean, yet not just the hair, but the beard is freaking like it's so well kept.
dude, he looks like, you know who he looks like? Um who was the pitch man? Billy Mays. I think I think he and Billy Mays are the same person.
Oh, the OxyClean
Yeah,
guy?
This is Billy Mays here with OxyClean. Hey, look at that beard, dude. It's like perfectly. It's like it's drawn on with a Sharpie.
That's freaking like I don't even know how to comment on this story other than Billy Mitchell should be happy that he has the head of hair that he does.
Yeah,
And like the whole thing to me is just petty. Like, yeah, I mean the guy for a time had, the world record for Donkey Kong and it was changed, but it
yeah,
was like you still technically had it. Even though like
yeah.
if it was taken away, like it still existed at one point. So it's like, what's the difference? Yes, people are still commenting on Facebook that they're getting no audio from you. Now
That's
multiple people are saying it. I don't know because it's like everything's set up correctly. I can hear you perfectly fine.
I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with Discord. I don't know. We may have to try out something else for next week just to see.
Yeah,
Not
I'm honestly considering killing the Facebook stream, like if they can't hear you.
Yeah, because there's no point if they can't hear me. We may have to
Yeah.
use my buddy from the Sound podcast told me about another streaming that they calling app that they've been using that looks really good. So I think we're gonna try that.
Okay. Yeah, I think what I might have to do is just kill the Facebook stream, which sucks because we've started building
Yeah,
up a little bit of a fan base on Facebook. So
yeah.
I'm gonna kill the stream and then
Well,
we'll have it all figured out for next week.
maybe just stop it and then just restart OBS while we're going and see if that helps it.
I mean, if I restart OBS, then like I'm not gonna be able to hear you for a period of time.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. That's fine. I mean, if nobody can hear me, then come over to just tell them to come over to or type in the chat to come over to twitch.tv/JayFunktastic.
Yeah. Head. Yeah, guys. I mean, everybody says they can hear me, but not you.
Yeah.
Which is to me the strangest thing. So, head over to twitch.tv/JayFunktastic. I'm going to type it in the chat real
Yeah.
quick, and you guys can go watch from there.
As far as Billy Miller goes, Rampage wrote in the chat, I think that's who Peter Dinklage's character was based on in the Adam Sandler movie Pixels. I was actually thinking that today when I was looking at this story, and I was like, I wonder if that's who his character was based on in that movie, because I just saw that movie again like about a month or so ago. It hasn't been that long ago. I watched it again. I actually like that movie.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all. I don't know why people hated it so much.
I don't know. All right, so that's posted in the Facebook chat. So this sucks, but I'm gonna have to kill the Facebook stream.
Yeah.
But we'll get it all figured out for next week. So
Yeah,
our
we'll get it.
apologies.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry we're having just that little technical difficulties tonight. It's to be expected. We're a live internet show. We're doing everything ourselves. We don't have engineers and producers doing everything.
We ain't got no producers. We are the producers.
But yeah, let's move on to the next story. That one's all yours.
So let's see. Streets of Rage?
Yeah.
All right, so we've got classic Streets of Rage. This is from NintendoLife.com. Classic Streets of Rage soundtracks are being re-released on cassette and compact disc.
That's awesome.
I don't call them CDs. I call them compact disc because it's cooler. If today's release of Streets of Rage 4 on Switch has you feeling all nostalgic for earlier games in the series, you might want to take a nosy at these tempting soundtrack offerings. Wayo Records is set to re-release the classic Mega Drive soundtracks to both Streets of Rage and Streets of Rage 2, composed by Yuzo Koshiro. They'll be available on compact disc, digital, and in a neat touch, even on cassette. I've never played these games, but you put a cassette in front of me, I will get it just for the nostalgic.
I
I actually
know.
have the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack on cassette.
Really? I got it on vinyl.
Mhm. Yeah, I there was like, I saw it at a record store we have here in town, and I was like I didn't even look at the price, I was like, "I have to
Oh
have
yeah.
that." Like, that's so
That's an
freaking cool.
instant buy.
Yep. It follows Ware Records' 2017 Streets of Rage digital and CD release with new commentary from Kishiro and a 17-minute long mega mix
Wow.
by composer, Shinji Hosoe. Plenty of
Yeah.
options have already gone live for pre-order at Waya Records website, with all products expected to be released by the end of May/June. So if you're a fan of collecting soundtracks, this sounds amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, if you want this, just head over to nintendolife.com and go to the this is one of the articles on the front page. So the link to the website is in the article.
Yes.
Let's see. For our next story, this is from hothardware.com. The Odroid Go Advanced Black Edition Retro Gaming Linux Handheld, whew, say that 3 times fast, gains Wi-Fi, USB-C power, and more. Retro gaming fans who want to be able to play their favorite classics on the go may want to check out the Odroid Go Advanced Black Edition. It is an upgrade to the Odroid Go Advanced that launched last year with key upgrades fans have been calling for. Let's see, including Wi-Fi and the elimination of the large barrel power port. The portable retro gaming console is powered by Rockchip RK3326, featuring a quad-core ARM Cortex-A35 processor operating at 1.3 gigahertz. System memory is 1 gigabyte along with 16 megabytes SPI flash for boot loading and micro SD card slot for storage. The little display is 3.5 inch with a resolution of 320 by 480. Let's see, it is $59 with shipping scheduled for May 25th. Says the old version is still out there, so fans wanting the new features need to be careful when they order that they're purchasing the black edition, which uses a black PCB while the original has a white PCB. Buyers can choose between black or clear white cases for the console hardware.
This actually sounds kind of intriguing.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Like I want to watch the video that's attached to this article, but I will say this: this is what should have been done with the whole Atari thing. Like this whole
Yes.
thing, like it explains all the features.
Mm-hmm.
It's very transparent about everything, which I love. I'm not gonna lie, this sounds like a cool little device to have, and I mean, for $60, that really ain't that bad.
Yeah, I would see. I wish Nintendo would come out with something like this that looks like this, because you could do, it could come preloaded with 40 or 50 original Game Boy titles, some Game Boy Color, 2DS stuff. Like this would be the perfect little console for Nintendo to re-release instead of doing like a Game Boy Classic or something like that, because this does kind of look like a Game Boy Advance, like
Mhm.
a more simpler version of a Game Boy Advance. So they could just do something like this and put 100 different Game Boy titles on it and charge $75, and I would go for that.
No, I absolutely would too. It reminds me a little bit of the 2DS, because
Hmm.
they did do like the 3DS came out, and then there was the 2D version, which was a little bit
Yeah,
cheaper, but it wasn't preloaded with games like you're talking about.
yeah,
But yeah, if Nintendo were to do something like that, like maybe the size of the 2DS,
yeah,
but it has say 50 to 60 games on it. I think that'd be a great seller, and you just have a mix of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, like pretty much all their like major handheld titles. I think would be really cool, because you could put the Super Mario Land games on there, the original Link's Awakening, the WarioWare games, which were really fun for the DS era
yeah,
of Nintendo handheld. So it could almost be like an anthology of handheld Nintendo, because that medium has been severely glossed over
yeah.
if you think about it.
Mixmaster wants us to give him a come on, Nintendo.
Come on, Nintendo.
Rampage, yeah, I mean, I agree that they could add Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to the Switch. But if while they're in the mood to make these mini consoles like the Super Nintendo Mini and the Nintendo Mini, and they already did something where didn't they redo the copyright or something for the Game Boy not too long ago?
Yeah.
If they're gonna do that, they're not gonna put this stuff on the Switch. If they're gonna put out some sort of Game Boy classic, this is probably more along the lines of what they would actually do.
I'll be honest, I would prefer that over something else that we talked about a while back, was just make like an app
Hmm.
with games on it that you can play on your phone, but I think I would rather have the separate system.
Yeah, me
And
too.
you throw 50 games on it, I'd get that.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, a little handheld console with 50 to 75 different Game Boy games for $75. I would plump down $75 for that.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
Ooh, I just
Come
got
on,
water.
Nintendo, make it happen.
I just splashed water in my face. Let's see. What's our
Love it.
last story here? That's
All
yours.
right,
It's all
so
yours.
yep, so our last story comes to us from express.co.uk. Nintendo Direct latest update, double dose of bad news for Switch fans in 2020. Nintendo is seemingly struggling to adapt to the conditions enforced by the coronavirus lockdown. Indeed, if news reports are to be believed, the company may have a double dose of bad news for Switch fans in 2020. According to an article over on Eurogamer, the company is thinking of delaying its annual June Direct conference, which, as we all know, coincides with E3. They've been doing
Yeah.
that the last few years, which other companies have started doing that as well and not actually physically being at E3, which we all know has been canceled
Yeah.
for this year. Let's see. The cancellation of this year's E3 event has given publishers and platform holders to hold their own conferences online. Microsoft will unveil a selection of Xbox Series X games on May 7th, while Sony, which has already happened, but while Sony will reportedly reveal the PS5 later this month. Sadly, however, it looks like Nintendo will be unable to follow suit. Not only has the June Direct conference seemingly been pushed back, but Nintendo may also have to delay some of its high profile first party games. It reportedly needs additional time to work on its first party lineup, although things could change at the drop of a
Hmm.
hat. So, I mean, we've talked about, the possible remastering of the Mario games. I'm sure you've heard this story too, but there was rumors of a remastered Metroid Prime trilogy
Yeah.
coming out for the Switch. So, I mean, what do you think about all this stuff potentially being delayed?
Well, I mean, I understand with COVID and everything, but at the same time, I mean, it's people coding on computers. I mean, I don't understand why they can't let. I mean, are people working from home to, do these remasters and all that kind of stuff? So, I really don't see why that would affect it too much. You would, I mean, with the way Nintendo works, you would think that stuff would already be done, and because Nintendo is not very known for crunch, what they're calling that these days. Like Nintendo likes to be fully prepared before
Yeah.
they release stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I mean, this is a pretty good reputable website that we've used a couple times. So I don't know. I'm gonna kind of take it with a grain of salt. I mean, yeah, things might get pushed back, but I don't think it's like a dire situation or anything like that.
Yeah, the way I look at it is so many things are being delayed,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things that we just I don't wanna be blunt in saying that we have to accept it, but in a way we have to accept it. Like, look what's happened with movies.
Yeah.
All of
Exactly.
those have been delayed. There's no sports going on right now because you know, the NBA and NHL might not resume their seasons. Baseball might not start until July. The NFL might not start until October. So I think it just continues the trend of all aspects of
Hmm.
entertainment being delayed.
You know what's going to be weird when we finally hit the point where there's not a lot of stuff coming out, like as far as TV shows and movies, because nothing's getting made right now, and there's
But you
no.
know what's not getting delayed? The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
because luckily they shot everything before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So they're just doing post-production. But I will say this, and the headline should be COVID can't stop Baby Yoda.
Yeah, exactly. And if it hasn't been filmed, then they need to camera crews and grips and all those guys. They need to throw on some hazmat suits and go film that shit.
Yep. Because in October, I got to find out what happens to Baby Yoda next.
Yeah. Ooh, there's
And
a
I
lot
swear,
going on
if
in the
something,
chat room. So if I've missed some stuff, guys, I'm sorry. There is so much going on in the chat room right now.
I'm gonna have to chime in on this chat thing.
Yeah. But it's time to go into this month in video game history. In May of 1980, Stratovox from Sun Electronics is the first game with voice synthesis. I think I remember us talking about this before.
Yeah, because I remember the name.
Yeah.
Stratovox.
Known in Japan as Speak and Rescue, an arcade fixed shooter developed by Sun Electronics and published by Taito. Let's see. The player must shoot UFOs who will attempt to kidnap astronauts that appear on the right side of the screen. If the player lets all the astronauts be kidnapped, the game is over. Ooh.
I just love this first sentence. Stratovox, known in Japan as Speak and Rescue.
Yeah.
Like, that's such completely different titles. Like Speak and Rescue is just kind of but
yeah.
like you throw in Stratovox,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, what's that?
Stratovox just sounds like a metal band. And then,
It does.
Speak and Rescue. That's not cool. We're going to speak and rescue. What? No.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
For Stratovox?
Thank you, Detroit.
In May of 1983, Sega releases Astron Belt in the Japanese market, which is the second Laserdisc video game. It uses pre-rendered computer-animated film footage as backdrops, overlaid with sprite graphics. I remember us talking about this as well.
Yeah, I think this was one of the first ones that actually came out before Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, I also want to throw in Rampage said in the chat, I wonder what the child's name actually is or will be. Whatever is revealed, like, people are still going to call him Baby Yoda.
His name will be Ayod. Or however you say Yoda backwards. Adoy. His name is Adoy.
Yeah. I would laugh hysterically if that happened and then just watch the internet destroy itself.
I would do it.
I will.
I would, if I was in charge, I would just do it to watch the world burn.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I would put it out there, then I would make a batch of popcorn and just pull Twitter up on my computer and just hit refresh every like 20 seconds. People would lose their mind.
The internet would melt, literally.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest.
Let's see, in May of 1985, Konami releases Gradius in Japan called Nemesis elsewhere.
Both cool names.
Yes. I like Gradius. Gradius is a good name.
Yeah, Gradius is a good video game name.
Yeah, it is.
That's one that, you know, like when you think of like the early to mid 80s video games, I feel like when it comes to titles, Gradius has to be up there on the list.
Yeah, it's synonymous with Konami, and like it's one of those games like it came out you know, in the arcades and stuff like in Japan before here, but it's definitely one of those kind of you know, like synonymous with the NES.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. But on May 6th of 1986, Infocom releases the highly regarded Trinity.
Did we talk about this? Yeah, I remember this.
I remember the graphic.
Yeah, the graphic looks pretty good. It's very early.
You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of like a like an advertisement you'd see in a magazine for a made-for-TV movie in the late '80s or early
I
'90s.
was, yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. It like it has that weird kind of like TV miniseries look about the front
Coming to
cover.
Fox this
Yeah,
Sunday night,
Trinity.
Trinity.
Uh,
Oh, man.
May
With the stuff
12th.
I say, there's no way I'm ever gonna work in the film
Oh
industry.
yeah. May 12th of 1989, Konami releases Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the NES, one of the first video games based on the Ninja Turtles animated series, being released after the show's second season. And if anybody watched my streams the last couple of weekends, I tried to get to the end of that game, man. I tried. I really did. But man, the room. The room. Damn
Yeah,
you,
The
room.
Room, yep. We're not talking about the movie, we're
No,
talking about the actual room.
we dubbed it the room because it killed me
Yes.
every time I went in there.
Another good name for it would have been the black hole, because
Yeah,
once you go in, you
never
never
come
come
out.
out. May 3rd of 1994, Epic Mega Games releases Jazz Jackrabbit, a console-style animal with attitude platformer.
Oh yeah, I remember us talking about this. This has 90s written all over it.
You know what, though? I kind of want to try it.
I do too. I mean, the screenshots look pretty cool, so it looks like something I would actually enjoy.
Yeah. I wonder if this was something that was created, like, because, like, characters were a big thing. Like, Mario came around in the '80s, and then in the '90s, you had Sonic and Crash
They
Bandicoot.
were trying so hard to make new,
Yeah, that's
mascots.
why I'll that's why I'll say that, no one will ever touch Mario, because Mario was the first. The
Yeah.
only one who's close is Sonic.
And this was around the time that I had gotten my first real computer, other than the Commodore 64, and I was really big into the CD-ROM gaming and stuff like that, and computer gaming. And I never heard of this game. Like I was big into like Flashback, and I had the Dark Half, and then I had like the Seventh Guest, the 11th Hour, Mist, all those kind of games. I never heard of this, and you would think I would have heard of it around that time. I would have totally tried this out.
Well, it says here that in 2017 it was re-released on GOG.com.
Really? I
So I
might have
wonder
to
if
get
it's
that.
for free.
Maybe. We'll go check that out
It's
after the
along
show.
with support for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I'd be interested in trying it. Like, I mean, like you said, the screenshots look intriguing, and it looks like something that I would actually like.
Might be good
Even
for
though
a
I never
review.
really got big into computer games, but
Yeah. Well, like I said, it might be good for a review. And if you want to take that one, you're more than
yeah,
welcome to.
yeah.
Coming up to the end here, we have May 1st, 1996. GameSpot and Game FAQs are launched.
Dude, I loved GameFAQs.com
Dude,
back in the day.
I didn't know GameSpot has been around that long.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I remember
they're
looking at both these sites, especially Game FAQs. I looked at that site religiously in high school, like trying, like you just using it to find, items, especially for like Ocarina of Time and other Zelda games, like trying to beat it 100%. I would use that website a lot
yeah.
back in the day. Is it still around?
I don't know. I'm
I haven't
sure.
looked at it
I
in
know GameSpot is.
yeah, because we've gotten some articles from them in the past, but
Oh,
I haven't looked at Game FAQ since probably early college. But no, I loved that website. But to close us out for this month in video game history, on May 22nd of 2000, so we were approaching the 20-year anniversary of this game, Rare releases Perfect Dark for the Nintendo 64, and that
yes.
makes me feel old.
I'm surprised they haven't done a complete remaster of that game yet.
They did I think a prequel for the 360, but I remember it not being nearly as well received as the original was. But
Yeah.
man, if they if they remastered this, I would love to play it because, you know, going back and playing it for the review I did a while back was so much fun. Like, I forgot how good of a game that this was. And I feel bad for it in the sense that, you know, with GoldenEye being as big as it was,
Yeah.
like, this was never going to live up to it.
Mm-mm.
But it's a good game, you know, all on its own.
Man, there was a big TMNT discussion going on in the chat room, and my browser quit. So I don't know. Somebody was giving me encouragement saying I could beat it. So whoever was saying that, thank you. I'm still gonna try, but like I said,
That was Thad.
yeah, I've gotten close. Like I said, I've gotten to the Technodrome a few times in my life. But I would have to do the Technodrome and then, of course, Shredder as the last person to beat. But I was so close to the giant mouser the other day when I couldn't get past that damn room, man. I was like one room away from the mouser.
And then the room happened.
The room. Damn it. But before we go into our review for tonight, we have some shout outs that I would like for Derek to give.
Yeah, so as always, we'd like to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro who actually, and I'll reveal what the game is at the end of the show, but they actually voted on my review for next week. So thank you guys for doing that. We want to shout out Armez J, Axeblade07, Daniel Salmon, John Jekyll, aka Mixmaster, and Carlos Longoria. Thank you guys, as always, for keeping the lights on for us. If you want to contribute to our Patreon, head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. If you help us get back to that $50 level, we will do a bonus episode every month. And I don't know about you, but when we do the commentary tracks, like, I have so much fun.
Oh, me too.
Doing those, and we will do those every month if we get back up to that $50 level. So check us out over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro.
Yes, and tonight we're going to be talking about
Rise, Warrior.
Sounds like Conan. Volgar the Viking. And I can't remember, was it... who gave me the idea to do this? Was it... who was it that told me
I'm
to
trying
go?
to remember.
Somebody in the chat told me to review this a few weeks ago, and I forgot who it was. I'm sorry I forgot, but it's, you know, I'm getting old and my memory's not what it used to be. But thank you. Tonight I'm talking about it. It's Volgar the Viking, an action platformer video game developed by Crazy Viking Studios, inspired by side-scrolling platform games like in the 1980s, like Rastan and Ghosts and Goblins. The game is a modern interpretation of the genre, while retaining both the graphical style and the difficulty level of the earlier titles. After a successful Kickstarter campaign to crowdfund the production of the game, Volgar the Viking was published on Steam by Adult Swim Games in September 2013 and is supported on Windows, OS X, and Linux-based personal computers on October 2014. An Xbox One version of the game was published by Crazy Viking Studio itself, and it was on the Nintendo Switch October 5th, 2017. And Volgar the Viking, player controls the titular character who has been charged by Odin with a quest to defeat an evil dragon. Volgar is armed with a sword, a spear, and a wooden shield at the start. Along with hitting enemies at range, the spear can also be used to create temporary platforms, and treasure chests located throughout the level will contain power-ups that grant Volgar new abilities and, most importantly, enable him to take more damage. That being said, this game, as soon as I started playing it, instantly was like Ghosts and Goblins. Whoever created this game loved Ghosts and Goblins as a kid because this is a modern day version of Ghosts and Goblins. That's all it is, basically, because it's got the same sort of play style where you start out like it said. You start off with a sword and wooden shield, and as you go through the game, you come across different treasure chests, and in each treasure chest is like an upgrade. In the first, you get an upgrade to your shield, and then which gives you the ability to charge up your spear because you have two different weapons. You've got close-up melee, which is your sword, and then you have a ranged weapon, which is your spear, which is cool because when you upgrade your shield to the second tier shield, the blue shield, then you're able to charge up your spear, and you can like take out multiple enemies at once. It's just like it's an unstoppable, charged up spear. And then if you can not get hit and make it to the next treasure chest, then you get like the flaming sword after that. Or no, next you get a helmet, a big horned Viking helmet. And then if you can make it to the next treasure chest without getting hit, then you get the flaming sword. And when I'm gonna tell the truth right now. I'm only on level 2 of this game.
Oh wow.
It's so ridiculously hard. Like, it's like I said, Ghosts and Goblins hard. Like it's one of those games where it's not, I don't want to say it is frustratingly hard, but I don't want to say it's like rage quittingly hard. It's more like if you are into games where you have to memorize like patterns and different like things you have to do, like you go into like one section, you're like, okay, well in this section, there's these plants that shoot out, these fireballs. So as soon as I walk in the room, I know they're going to shoot the fireballs. So I wait for them to do that, and then I got to run through, climb up this rope, and in between these little slots, I got to throw a spear. So all the way up to the top through these little slots into the other wall on the other side, so that when I come back to climb up the rope, those spears will be blocking any flaming, flame balls from hitting you out of these plants, like that type of stuff. Like there's certain enemies that it's like a certain platform. It's a platform. It's a side-scrolling platformer. So there's certain areas you go to where there's different enemies that take more damage than some of the trash mobs. But you have to take this one dude out before you can get up to this other level. So you have to find like the perfect place to be when this dude like jumps up and you can take him out midair, like that type of stuff. It's very like methodical in the way you go through the game, and the more you memorize things, the easier it is to get through the level. Like I went through level 1 so many times that I could get to the final boss finally without getting hit, and getting to the final boss with the flame sword. That way I would have 3 extra hit points before I died, because the bosses are like, humongous on the screen. Like you're this big, but the boss is like this big. And you gotta like, the first boss you come to, he's got this huge shield, and he bashes the ground in front of you, and you have to like jump over the shock wave, and then you have to throw spears into his shield, and then climb up onto those spears, and then start like bashing him in the face, like that type of stuff. It took me like 5 tries to get to the first boss, just to know his pattern and know how to kill him. Like it's one of those games that like it's unforgiving because there are no checkpoints. Like
Oh wow.
if you die, you go all the way back to the beginning of the level. But if you make it through the level, then you don't have to go back through that level again. Like next time you come, like if you try to get through level 2 and you die and you quit the game, next time you come back, you can just go straight to level 2. Like you don't have to go through level 1 again. Because if you did, nobody would play this game because you would have to go through all that crap again. And nobody would want to do that. I like the game. I really do, especially if you're into those kind of really hard early, like punishing NES games. Like it's Nintendo hard. I'm gonna say that. Like it's completely. You can feel the ghosts and goblins and the Castlevania like all over this thing. So if you're into that type of stuff, I would say get it. I think it's like $10 on the Nintendo Switch, and like it said, you can get it on like Xbox One and all that kind of stuff. It's a very good game. It's got like 16-bit style graphics, but a little better because sort of like it's got a Broforce kind of feel and look to it. If you ever played Broforce,
Okay.
so yeah, it's kind of got that aesthetic to it. But if you're into those type of games, and I know you did, I did the NES version of Ghosts and Goblins, and you did the
I did Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
yeah, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So you have an idea of what it's like to play this game.
Well, I was watching some footage of it, and it gave me that little bit of a vibe. So
Yeah,
I mean, granted, I haven't actually played it, but just from the footage I've watched, I would echo that sentiment.
but it's definitely got that vibe of like you keep playing it and you keep playing it and you just get a little bit further every time, and you learn where the next enemy is coming from. You know where the next spear going to be shooting out of the wall, or where the next like flame spewing plant is going to be. So like you just get a little bit further each time. So it's got that it's got that addictive factor to it, to where you're just like, oh, like I just, oh, I can know I can get a little bit further each
Yeah.
time. So it keeps you coming back. But the thing is like I would have given anything for some checkpoints, man. Just some checkpoints, because like it's frustrating to get all the way to the boss and die, and then have to go through the entire level again. And man, it's punishing, it's brutal, and it's fun. And then I get to level 2, and the enemies are completely different in level 2. They act differently. Like like whatever the difficulty is in level 1, it's cranked up by a factor of 10 in level 2. Like I've gotten maybe a quarter of the way into level 2. Like it's like that little incremental, just like a little bit further each time.
Yeah, it looks like something that I would actually enjoy, because I mean, I've made it known on the show that I'm a big platformer
Hmm.
fan. It would be interesting to try, and looking at the reception that this game got, I mean, it has really overwhelmingly positive reviews. I mean, Game Rankings gave it, I think, a 70. The PC version gave it a 78, Xbox One an 81, Metacritic PC a 76 out of 100. Destructoid gave it an 8 out of 10, Eurogamer 8 out of 10, and Digital Spy gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
But it's got the cred of it being a well-reviewed game.
Hmm.
So that too also makes me want to give it a shot.
Yeah. Rampage said he has to decide. He's interested in it. Has to decide if PS4 or Switch. Honestly, I'm gonna say it's a perfect Switch game. Because like I said, that level 1, I bought it 2 weeks ago, and I just sat literally, there was a Sunday where, Angelina's like working on the computer, editing videos, and I literally just sat in bed all day with my Switch and just played through level 1. Just the entire damn day trying to get through that level, and finally did it. And you know, and we got to the show last week, and I was like, dude, I need another week because like I've only gotten through the first level, but I still have. It's been a week later, and I haven't even made it through level 2 because it's so brutal. So if you're into like even Mixmaster said he loves Super Ghouls and Ghosts, this is the game for you. I mean, this is direct lineage of it's. I mean, it's got Super Ghouls and Ghosts. The blood runs in this game's veins.
I'm excited to try it. You said it was what, like $10?
Yeah, it's like $10 on the Switch, I think.
Well, and I would, to go off of what you were saying to Rampage. The reason why I would say Switch, and it's going to be my answer 9 times out of 10 when it comes to games, is that it's the portability.
Yeah.
That you can, like you said, you laid in bed and you played it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the convenient thing about the Switch. You can do it, you know, in bed. You can go sit outside in your backyard and do it. Like I've been doing that with the Switch a lot. So I would absolutely say the Switch as well.
Yeah, and you know I'm only in level 2, but I gotta give it a great score because it's had me glued to it because, like I said, it's not hard because it's broken. It's hard because it's challenging, but it's the kind of challenge, like I said, it's just that little bit incremental. Further you get every time, and you just keep wanting to get further and further. So that's the type of gameplay it is.
So what would you give it as far as a number score?
I mean, I haven't finished the game, but just from the fun of just laying in bed, playing it, and you know, getting a little further and completely getting the Super Ghouls and Ghosts vibe, you know, I'm gonna give it an 8, just because it's a good game just to own in your Switch library. And like I said, if you want to get it anywhere else, like it's available on Wii U, like the PlayStation 4, the Vita, Xbox One, Windows. It's pretty much available anywhere. So, you know, just like plop down a couple of bucks and see if you like it. I mean, even if you hate it, you know, it's what, $10? Like,
Yeah, it's not that much.
Let me just look and see what I paid for it.
Well, if it's 10, I think, you know, even if you end up not liking the game, it's not like you spent $60 like you would on a PS4 game.
And it's not much space either. It's like I don't know, it's like a couple of 100 megabytes. Let's see, Volgar.
It's not too bad.
The Viking for Nintendo Switch. Right now it is, yes, $9.99 on the Switch store.
Yeah, I think that's worth it.
So I do have a game code to give away for this. Are you guys in the chat room ready for some for some trivia? And I will give you a game code. The first person to answer this trivia question: what was the name of the princess that King Arthur had to rescue in Ghosts and Goblins? First person to answer gets the code.
I don't even know that one.
I figure this would be the perfect game to do Ghosts and Goblins trivia for, as everybody rushes to Google.
I mean, the first one who does it.
Come on, Mixmaster. If you Rampage got it. Prin. Yep. Yay, Rampage. Rampage. Well, I'm gonna see if I can actually. All right, I'm gonna whisper him that. There it is. Okay. I'm gonna send this to you as soon as we're done recording this. So, stay in the chat room. Stay in the chat whenever we're done here, and I will give you the code to the game. And congratulations. And I do want to shout out who this German dude gave it to us. From the Volgar studio. His name is Chris Deerschmidt with the two little umlauts above the U.
That's awesome.
And his Twitter is at Volgar, at Volgarr. So huge thank you to him. He is the CEO of Crazy Viking Studios and the creative director and other for Samurai Showdown. So yeah, he's a pretty important dude there. So thank you to him for supplying. And yeah, that brings us to the end of the show. And I do have one thing here for listener email. Carlos Longoria sent us this last week. And we didn't get to do it because we didn't do last week's show. But this is from allspark.com. He sent us this link. Officially confirmed animated Transformers movie in the works. Toy Story 4's Josh Cooley to direct. Allspark user Paladin has alerted us that articles from Deadline and Hollywood Reporter have confirmed that a new animated Transformers film is in the works, and Josh Cooley has been hired as director. Let's see. Be sure to check out the forums, blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Yeah, it just says Hasbro's Entertainment, which is cool because I just bought some stock in Hasbro, so hopefully this will make my stock go up. Let's see. Big Scale's Transformers theatrical prequel that sources said focuses on an origin story. Takes place on Cybertron. Awesome! The planet from which the good guy and bad guy robots are from. The film revolves around the relationship between Optimus Prime and Megatron. This is what I've been wanting from a Transformers movie this whole time. I want something that takes place on Cybertron. I want to see the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons. I don't want a single human damn being in this movie.
I'll just say my thoughts on this. Do you see Michael Bay's name attached to it?
No, it is not.
Then I'm interested in watching it.
I'm so in.
If this is true, I'm not a huge Transformers fan. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that I am, but this I would actually be very interested in seeing.
Dude, I remember watching the Transformers movie in the theater when I was a kid, and Optimus Prime died. And I think that's what's wrong with me as an adult is I saw my hero die, and I think a part of me died with him. So, yeah.
Well, maybe you'll get a part of you back after this movie comes out.
Maybe. Mixmaster, please no Michael Bay. No Michael Bay anywhere to sully up this movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that brings us to the end of the show. Derek, is there anything else you would like to throw out there before we go this evening?
Yeah, so I mentioned our friends over at Patreon earlier. So I've started posting polls for you guys to decide what I review. And as a result, I will be wrapping up the classic Sonic line of video games by reviewing Sonic and Knuckles next week. So that should be a fun one to do. Actually, kind of an underrated Sonic game. So I'm excited to go back and revisit that. But I do want to thank those who watch the show and also watch my show as well. Had a really fun discussion on my show last night about top 10 sci-fi movies.
Mm.
Had a lot of people leave their list, had some really good interaction in the chat, so thank you guys for that. If you want to check out the Derek Diamond Experience, new episodes come out every Thursday on all podcasting platforms, and you can follow the show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at DDiamondPodcast. Also, next week, Jason, Wally, and myself will be recording a roundtable discussion about the original Ninja Turtles movie, and I've been waiting for weeks to do this show, and I'm excited for it.
I actually got myself a copy the other day of ActRaiser for the Super Nintendo. I haven't had a copy of it yet, and I've always been interested in playing that game, so I think I may actually stream that now because I really want to play that. I always wanted to play it when I was a kid, just never did, and I don't know why. So I think that might be my next couple of streams is just playing ActRaiser, and I think I might do a review of it. either for
Nice.
my next review or the one after. Because that's been one of my bucket list games for a long time now.
Yeah, I know the name, but like you, that was a game I missed out on
Well, the
growing up,
reason
so I'll be excited to hear about
the
it.
reason I wanted to play it so bad is because I still like vividly remember it, and I wish I still had the Nintendo Power that this was in when they first announced the Super Nintendo. When it was still, I think they were still calling it the Super Famicom or whatever they were calling it before it was officially called the Super Nintendo. They, you know, put some pictures up of it was a picture of F-Zero, Super Mario World, and ActRaiser, like some screenshots. And ActRaiser was one of the first screenshots I ever saw for the Super Nintendo. I was like, I want to play that game because it's just like, this big knight in gold armor, like holding this huge sword. And I'm just like, what is that? I want to play that. So I'm finally at 40. I'll be 43 years old in 2 weeks, and I'm finally going to be playing that game. So
No, fantastic. I'm excited to hear about it.
that's what's coming up. So I think that's about it. Anything else before we go?
Nope, I think I'm good.
All right, well, let's go ahead and play our music here. If you would like to email us, you can email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. We are at nerdcaveretro.com. We're on Instagram and Twitter at nerdcaveretro, and individually at JayFunktastic and at Derek_Diamond. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/nerdcaveretro. We're on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro, where you can go throw us a couple of bucks a month or just $1 a month. And if we get to $50 a month, we will give you those extra episodes of us doing cool commentary tracks. And if you can't do that, can't throw us $1 a month, I know times are hard, go leave us a review wherever fine podcasts are given away for free. So Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
Wise men say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Yes.
Monkey, you blow it!
That was a fun episode.
It was.
All right, so it was Rampage 1. I have his thing up here. And of course, I don't have Twitter up. Let me go to Twitter and switch over to my profile so I can just copy and paste. Where'd they put the logout thing now? Oh, wait, that's not it. How the hell do you log out?
I have no idea that it was changed.
Okay, they put the logout thing. Yes, I want to log out of Twitter. Good Lord. Let's see. I got a new. What was my new password? I would try to do this on the big computer, but holy crap, that would take so long for that to come up. Let's see here. Where did I put it? Let's see. Log in. Update password. Yes. All right.
Only me.
Here we go. We're going
Since
here.
we're hanging out for a bit, I have a theory on why Facebook didn't work.
Why?
So normally I run Facebook on Safari, but I did it through Chrome.
Yeah.
I wonder if that might have had something to do with it.
Actually, I wonder if that's why it was doing all that crap to me last week. Because I've been running Chrome too. Dude, I'm just... This weekend, I am downloading Firefox. Or actually, I might just bring everything back over to Safari and just... I might just take Google off my computer. Google Chrome. Later, Mixmaster. And good night, Thad. Thank you guys. And Rampage, did you get the whisper?
I just hope it wasn't a careless one.
Yeah.
I want that song played on loop at my funeral.
Oh, God.
Just to troll people one last time. Yeah, I'm just doing like a little test video. Like I've got it set. Like it's on Facebook Live, but only I can view it. Because what it is, so I've started doing a sports podcast with a few friends of mine, but we do it through Google Hangouts. And I have to run the audio through, or I have to call them through Google Chrome. Otherwise, the audio won't work.
Yeah.
Which is really weird, and it's stupid, and it makes absolutely zero sense.
That's weird.
Because when I do it through Safari, it won't pick up my mixer.
Huh.
For some reason.
That's weird.
But it will through Chrome. So I wonder if, I don't know, like it all sounds really ridiculous, but anyway.
Yeah, all right, Rampage got the whisper with the code in it. So awesome. Hopefully hopefully that code is correct, because all I did was just copy and paste directly from his his Twitter message.
Yeah. All right, let's end that.
But thanks, guys, for joining us on Twitch tonight, and we will see you guys. Actually, I'll probably see you here Saturday, streaming something.
Saturday?
Might be ActRaiser. I'm not sure yet, because I really want to play that game. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, and thank you guys, and we'll see you sometime. Bye.